Alright, it's my 1992 John Deere GT 262. Got it, had a blown Kawasaki 17. I wound up picking up this motor off of a scrap motor. It's a 19.5 single cylinder Briggs. Also picked up the 262 for scrap. Someone wanted out of their yard. It's missing a bunch of parts. I do have the cutting deck, but I removed everything as far as to hook up the deck. I'm not making this a grass cutter. I added built sort of like a 3-point hitch system. Harbor Freight sleeve hitch assembly. Except the standard 2-inch receiver hitch. There's some flat bar I had laying around. All the rest of the materials I had laying around. I made my own turnbuckle. That threaded part in the nut came from like a workout bar that you put weights on. This piece of stainless steel pipe, thick washer, another thick washer with a nut to where it all swivels and pivots. I need to grease it. This allows me to tilt the angle for future projects later on when I build a little box blade for it. I also had the body off and I reinforced this backing plate to support the winch tower welded to the frame. The factory 262 has bolts way back here to put John Deere's $400 3-point hitch system. It's a sleeve hitch system on here. I don't want to go that far back, so I wound up just welding my own flat bar and put my pivot here. My distance from the center to center of the hose is 10 inches, and I kept it 10 inches on the same. That way the geometry is the same. That way it holds whatever tilt you leave it on, it will hold that tilt at any angle. Just put it together, and you'll work out some bugs on it. It doesn't fully go down all the way on its own yet. And I need to redo my dead end on the 2-part to where I can get more height. Currently, that's about 13 inches of height off ground, which should be plenty for boat trailers. All the way down is about 6 inches off the ground. All the way up is about 13 to 15. That's just cheap $60 Harbor Freight winch. $21 snatch block from Northern Tools, rated for 4,000 pounds. I didn't need 4,000 pounds, but it was the only thing I could find locally with a 7/32 cable. It's cheap. Took me about 8 hours to build. It all works fine. This is the mower. I made my own wire and harness. Just simple 4-position switch. Got $100 total invested in the entire project. Everything was easy to make. It just took a lot of cutting, welding, grinding, drilling, and some figuring out. The turnbuckle was probably the most complicated part to figure out, and it really wasn't that complicated. Oh, and I put a trampoline spring in here, but it really doesn't serve any purpose. I just grabbed it, put it on there. Thought it might have helped, but it doesn't. But the more I work it, the easier it's moving. I didn't grease anything at all. I just put it together. Oh, and there's a floating system too for when I do the box blade. It will float. Well, I see a lot of people build the ones with the actuators. With actuated system doesn't float. And I also offset my winch to one side. And my thinking behind it, I would get more height because I wouldn't be connected up here at the top of my bar, which would be the ideal place to hook up, but that limits my travel. And the only way to hook up to the top and not limit my travel, I'd have to raise this winch up another 6 to 8 inches to achieve the same amount of travel I have now. but the downfall of this side. Later on, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get rid of this link right here. I'm gonna put a regular, like a triangle. I'm gonna put ball joints and everything, but I'm gonna put an adjustable turnbuckle on this side to where I can tilt. But it's not needed right now. All I'm doing is moving trailers. And I got an upcoming tiller project. I'm gonna run a belt off of the engine's pulley. I'm gonna put electric PTO on there. I'm gonna run a belt that's gonna twist sideways. I have an old front tine tiller. I took the engine off and it's belt drive, so I'm gonna run a pulley right here connected to the PTO with a jack shaft. Another pulley on this side because my tiller is driven from this side, to where it's gonna be operational from the hitch system, and it's also gonna be PTO drive. Pull the knob, engage the tiller. That's a future project I'm working on. It's going to take advantage of the 2-inch receiver hitch, so I can run my box blade and my tiller all from one machine. Because originally I was going to build an old mower just to run the tiller, another one to run the box blade. I already have my little dozer project. So all this scrap is really helping me out in the yard.